Hi there, thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's video, I want to talk about your identity and how that can both hold you back from creating and moving into a career that you really love, and also how it can actually help propel you forward if used correctly. If you are somebody who identifies really heavily with your current career, it is going to be much more challenging and much more difficult to actually transition into something new. I think we all know this at a deep level. We know that we can't actually move forward if we're holding on to the past and who we used to be. It's going to take a level of being able to let go of an identity, which can be really difficult for someone who's a high achiever. If you've achieved a lot in your career, now whether you feel good about those achievements or not, if you're a high achiever, that can feel good on a certain level. It can be hard to let go of that. What I would suggest, if this is you, if you relate to what I'm talking about right now, start to talk about your career less and less. Now, when you're actually in your job, that might be more challenging, but in the rest of your life, stop talking about what you do and how you represent yourself and how, what your career is all about. Stop talking about that as much as possible, because all it's really doing is consistently reinforcing who you are. And so if you try to move forward and create something different, what's going to happen is you're going to self-sabotage and hit a lot of resistance, because you're going, well, that's not who I am over here. I'm like, say you're like a financial analyst. I'm a financial analyst. I can't move into this other thing. And you're going to sabotage yourself in the process. So it's one thing you could do is stop talking about it in your personal life. Now, when it comes to your career, what I always suggest to people is start to take a step back. Now, I'm not saying for a second, don't do a good job, don't have integrity in what you do, not all those things. But there's a difference between going full out, being the go-to person, being the person that, that gets things done, faster than anybody else or better than anybody else. Because if you're an achiever, you're going to love that stuff, right? I get it. I'm that same way. But to be able to move something different, you have to pull back some of your energy and your focus. Because again, all that's happening is when you do that is it keeps reinforcing and really solidifying your current career, and you have to let that go. So if this is you, I would highly recommend doing those two things. But what you could also do, which is super, super powerful, and this is what I talked about, changing your identity to help empower you. So say you're in a position where you're like, hey, this career is no longer working for me, but I don't know what I want to do next. I actually have no idea. So it can be challenging to create, say, a new identity, right? Because that's really what we want to do. Once we've figured out what it is, we want to start to kind of walk into and embody that new identity. But if you don't know what it is, what do? So you start to look at it in broader terms. So what that could look like is, I am somebody who goes after their career dreams. I am somebody walking into a new career. I am somebody who's taking the action steps to figure out what it is that's going to give me that sense of fulfillment and have the impact that I really want. So it's creating an identity in a stronger sense, but it's helping pull you forward into something new rather than keeping you stuck. Our identities are super powerful. I cannot stress this enough. We invest a lot into our identities. And if we don't have our goals and dreams aligned with our identities, it will hold us back. So I hope this helped. I'd love to hear what you took away from this video. Please share down below, and I hope you have an amazing week.